Friends, welcome to my lecture. Today I am going to discuss about anatomical evidences for organic evolution. The main way of scientists have supported the theory of evolution throughout the history is by using anatomical similarities between the organisms, showing how body parts of one species resemble the other species is very interesting during the study of evolution. There is always finding traces of long extinct organisms that can also give a good picture of how a species changed over time even too. In this regard, the homologous structures in the body gives a clear evidence in such a way that one can understand maybe organisms have similar structures in their body. Homologous organs may be defined as the organs of different animals which have similar basic structure but different functions. For example, the flippers of whales and the forelimb of frog and man have the same basic structure, but they perform different functions. Hence, these are called homologous structure. One piece of evidence that supports the idea that dolphin and human come from the common ancestor is their limbs actually. Dolphins have front flippers that helps to reduce the friction in water as they swim. However, by looking at the bones within the flipper, it is easy to see how similar in structure it is to the human arm. This is one of the ways scientists use to classify organisms into phylogenetic groups that branch off from the common ancestor. You can see here the bird wing, the flipper of whale and human hand. You can see they are different functions, they perform different functions. As we have seen, this is for helping flying, and this is for swimming, and this is for holding or something like that. And structurally they are very, very similar. Coming to the analogous structure, analogous structures are structures that are similar to unrelated organisms. The structure are very similar because they evolved to do the same job, not because they are inherited from the common ancestor actually. For example, wing of insect and bird, you see that they perform a single function, that is the flying, and helps in flying. However, structurally they are very different. Another evidence for evolution is the convergence form of organisms that share the similar environment actually. For example, you have the Arctic fox living in the Arctic region, have a temporary white covering during the winter to blend with the snow and ice actually. Another one, the same thing, the bird, call it as ptarmigan, which is also having the coat over the body to overcome the unbearable or conditions during that Arctic zone. The analogous structure shows that organisms does not have a common ancestor and have different origin. For example, I have octopus and I have mammal. A flipper of penguin and the flipper of dolphin shows the analogous structure. Here, the analogous similarity between the penguin and dolphin fins actually. You can see that this is the dolphin fin and this is the penguin fin. Both of them, they are working for the same reason. However, the origin is totally different here. Here also, you can see that the octopus eye and human eye morphological characteristic feature and anatomically it is similar. However, a slight difference in what you call it as absence of blind spot and the origin of optic nerve from the retina is totally different from the both octopus eye and the human eye. Coming to the vestigial organs, this is also gives some sort of evidence for evolution, organic evolution. So the body part or the organs that is small and degenerate are imperfectly developed in the comparison to one more fully developed in an early stage of an individual in a past generation or in closely related forms. So this is what we call it as vestigial organ actually. According to Darwin quotes here that the rudimentary organs once served as a function necessary for survival, but over the time that the function became either diminished or non-existent. For over 100 years, evolutionists have continued to use vestigial organs as evidence for evolution. In 1971, in the Encyclopedia Britannica claimed that over 100 vestigial organs in the man. One of the most popular current biology textbook declares that many species of animals have vestigial organs. Example cited in human including the appendix, tailbone and the muscles that are move the ear. Example, the appendix. Ever since Darwin, the appendix has been the prime example for useless organ. Life science says that appendix, that is vestigial organ left behind from the plant-eating ancestor. According to the most evolutionists, appendix is vestigial of the cecum actually, the vestige of the cecum. But since humans have well-developed cecum as well as the appendix can hardly be considered as a vestigial cecum actually. This is the thing. An important point that the presence or absence of appendix reveals no evolutionary pattern whatever. So, an appendix is not found in any invertebrate, amphibian, reptiles or bird. Only a few diverse mammals have an appendix actually. So, this is the vermicular appendix present in the cecum area. Right. Wisdom teeth. Otherwise, it is the third molar teeth. It is developed between the age 15 and 27 between, and this is first. Darwin was the first to popularize the notion that the wisdom teeth are vestigial leftover from the ape-like ancestor. Many evolutionists consider them as the vestigial because, unlike ape, third molar often fail to develop properly in the man due to a lack of space in the jaw actually. When there is an adequate room for their development, they are fully functional molar and used for chewing much as the first and the second molar in the body. Tailbone. It is so-called tailbone. It is perhaps the most commonly thought example in the man of a useless evolutionary vestige actually. The vestigial tail left over from our tail monkey-like ancestor. Once again, many in the medical professions have been taken in by evolutionary speculations by mercifully they have refrained from the surgically removing the normal coccyx. The human coccyx is a group of 4 or 5 small vertebrae fused into one bone at the lower end of the vertebral column. It is commonly called as a tailbone because it is superficially similar to that of the tail actually. It is occupied the same relative position at the end of the vertebral column as does the tail in tailed primates actually. So here in human, this portion, the coccyx has a fused tailbones are said to be useless. However, the same structure, it's a similar structure present in the other primates, which is very, very useful. As an example, if you take the monkeys, they use the tail for what you call it as the moving or clinging around the tree, etc. Erectipily, the body is. This is somewhat like the evolutionists have long insisted that human body hair and the small muscle erectipily attached to these hairs are useless vestige from our area ancestor. But human hair is fully functional as that of any other mammal. Unlike other mammals, man has mostly tiny colorless hair called vellus hairs covering the seemingly unhaired part of the body. This gives human the appearance of the airy or being airless actually. So you can see the other structure, what we call it as ear pinna here. So the muscles which are present here, it is said to be useless here, whereas here it is useful. In the cave fish, it is a blind, yet it is still have eyes here. So this is one vestigial organ in this animal. You can see that the wing of ostrich, the semilunar fold, or the nictitating membrane, and ear muscles which are present here, it is something like in a vestigial organs in this thing. In the whales, you can find the pelvis and femur. It is a vestigial organ in the body actually. You can see the structure here very clearly. And of course, even in the snake, you have a femur and pelvis which is not very well developed. It is a rudimentary, or otherwise we call it as a vestigial. Friends, you have to explore more on the vestigial organ in different animals actually. Thank you very much. Follow the next video for more information.